you actually think you're in ketosis. You're really not. Do you realize what you've been doing? You've gone on the internet, someone's given you a list of foods that is supposed to send you into ketosis. I have heard other trainers tell me what they think ketosis is, and I thought, these guys have got to be joking. They're joking. They couldn't be for real. What they put into a diet that's supposed to be a keto diet. If you do what's been handed to you on the internet, the chances are you'll be doing what you think is right, but you're nowhere near the mark. Does anybody actually know what ketone sticks are? They're a stick that when you're in ketosis, you actually urinate on it. And if it changes color to a particular darker color, it will tell you how far you are in ketosis. No one does that. There's even products on the market that promise to put you in ketosis after you've had a plate of pasta. That to me is like saying, I am constipated, but to show everybody that you're not constipated, you'll put somebody else's poo in the toilet and pretend that you're now not constipated when you actually still are. This is what these products can do, because I don't think there's any product you can give me that after I've had a plate of pasta, it's going to actually put me in a state of ketosis. It may make you believe that you're in a state of ketosis because it may have some sort of product in there which is going to increase your energy levels temporarily. Ketosis is about depleting. Now, both carbohydrates and fats are energy sources that can keep you from going into ketosis. Yes, you can still be on zero carbs and you're still not in ketosis. Now, I don't know what you get told elsewhere, but there have been times when I knew I was in ketosis because there's a particular feeling that I have. I didn't even need the ketone sticks. It's you can feel when you're in ketosis. Now, I remember having enough fat in that diet where I actually felt way too good, and I knew I was not in ketosis. It actually irritated me badly because I knew I hadn't had the test yet. I didn't pee on that stick, but I knew I was out of ketosis. Now, how did I know that? It's simple. I ate the wrong food, and all of a sudden, boom, I had this energy about me. That is not being in ketosis. That is pretty much like the internet guru that gives you a list of foods, and it's going to take you out of ketosis instantly. And when I came out of ketosis, I didn't do it with carbohydrates. I did it with a food that was supposed to take me into ketosis. So the chances of you being in ketosis are zero, especially if you don't get given something that is specific, because ketosis is a deprivation of energy, not just carbohydrates. And to become efficient at getting into ketosis, it could take you anywhere from 3 days to 14 days in order for your system to go from being a sugar burner, which means you're burning carbohydrates for energy, to now go into a fat burner. So that means you're using fats and even proteins as a source of energy. If there is too much of that, you are not going to be in ketosis. Right? It's that simple, because both carbohydrates and fats are an energy source, and being in ketosis is a feeling of deprivation. Your head's spinning a little bit, you've got some strength about you, but if you push your training too far, you will be into ketosis. But having said that, how would you deal with something like this? Now, one day I felt like I was in ketosis. I knew I was in ketosis, but the ketone sticks were telling me I was not. What was that all about? I was in the middle of a workout. I was so far into ketosis, I didn't realize it. I just felt it. And I kept urinating on these sticks, and they kept showing that I was not in ketosis. And I said, something is severely wrong here. Now, what was happening there was catabolism, not anabolism, which is an anabolic effect where you grow. This was a catabolic effect. So the body was eating itself up, and I was not going into ketosis. I didn't realize that until I stopped training, because I said, this is ridiculous. You're going to kill yourself and you're still not in ketosis. I went home and I said, just let me have one more go. Now remember, I'm relaxed now. I've had no food and I pee on a ketone stick, and I was so far into ketosis, it was ridiculous. because the body now had a chance to settle. So my personal view of using this was, once I reach ketosis, then I start introducing carbs and I pull myself out of ketosis, which is exactly what I did. Generally, if you do things correctly, it'll take you about 3 days to get into ketosis. If you want to get into deep ketosis, it could take you a little bit longer. Having said that, there have been times when I've been having carbohydrates, but I was so depleted from the weight training, cardio, and just things that chew up your energy. I was actually in deep ketosis, and I felt this. I actually came back from a long walk. It was before breakfast. And I thought, geez, if I'm not in ketosis, I'm going to be a monkey's uncle. And guess what? I was deeply into ketosis, and I hadn't been depleting carbs. It was just a total deprivation of the system that created this ketosis. So when I start seeing lists of food and there's certain proteins that contain higher fat, well, fat is an extremely satisfying food. And just because you're not having carbohydrates does not mean you're in ketosis. It's simply because you've stopped carbohydrates, because fats is an energy source that you can convert to and use as an energy source. Is this a balanced diet? No. But some people will have you believe that. There are people that do not touch fruit, they do not touch vegetables. It's pretty much all protein and a bit of greens, maybe a bit of salad, and they live that way, and they're totally happy because they believe they're doing something really good and it takes inflammation away from the body and so forth. Eventually, they're going to walk by someone in an outdoor setting at an Italian restaurant and they're going to see a plate of pasta with sauce on it and bread. And they're going to say, I don't need that. And then they may go home and consume double those calories because, oh my God, carbohydrates. Having said that, if you don't touch carbs, you'll be satisfied. The fats will keep you satisfied. Is any of this balanced? Absolutely not. Is it the healthiest diet you can follow? The caveman diet? Absolutely not. Is it good to follow for a period of time? Absolutely. Then we go to vegans. Now, there's a whole new world. How do you deplete a vegan? A person who is living off carbohydrates from day till night. Some of the stories that I've been told by vegans, like I asked them, I asked this one girl, she's a 21-year-old girl, and I said, how do you get by? What do you actually eat? Well, she was not in a very good way because she had been doing the vegan thing for quite a while and she was legitimately being a vegan. She goes, well, if I don't eat a whole bunch of potatoes all in one go, I just hit the floor. I'm done. I'm going, what do you have for breakfast? And she's like, whatever I can to survive. So the amount of food and the amount of carbohydrates that she was consuming just to be able to survive was incredible. And, you know, I guess, look, I have given vegans diets and I've even given them a depletion diet. But what is the depletion diet? Well, you find foods that are lower in carbohydrates, and generally they are foods that have lower glycemic index, right? But did these people go into ketosis? Not in front of me. I told them how to do it, which would have been a total thing of deprivation. So they would have had to have been putting in a certain amount of training. They would have had to have been eating a certain amount of carbohydrates, which were low glycemic carbohydrates, and then hopefully they would have gotten into ketosis. Did I ever test it? No. Would it have worked if I had have tested it? If it was a controlled group that I was controlling, I would have got to the bottom of it. Vegans come to me, I give them a diet, and then they disappear. Who knows if they're even following my advice? They eventually either go back to eating normally and they don't contact me because they're embarrassed that their whole mantra is now changed. So I'm not sure what happens with vegans. So being in ketosis can happen by accident, or it can happen because you actually are in control of what you're doing. If you're in control of what you're doing and you know what you're doing, great. A lot of people feel that they are in control when they absolutely have no control, because I can tell you now, having chocolate-covered peanuts is not going to get you into ketosis. Nuts contain carbohydrates, but sometimes are included in a keto diet. If you have enough of them, they will take you out of ketosis. I mean, I once thought that some turkey that I had actually took me out of ketosis. I went searching through the garbage to see what the ingredients were that were put on this turkey. And I actually found the box, and I realized, I said, you know what? There's nothing in here that's going to take you out of ketosis. What could have taken you out of ketosis? Guess what? It was the balsamic vinegar that I put on my salad. That's what took me out of ketosis. Deep ketosis, and I felt it immediately. Now, I'm a rare individual because whatever I can test, I can feel. Most people don't have that sort of experience. I do. So that's why I'm qualified to say what I am saying. If you like it, share it.